Hey! So, pretty sure this thing's gonna die, but I'll still try. Even if it doesn't record, it just helps to talk about it. Good projects, good progress this weekend on lots of stuff. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna blame it on this pen. Not sure if I mentioned, I've been interested in fountain pens lately. I think I must have talked, I know I talked about input devices, and I talked about that one pen. You know how one pen or one pencil can be inspiring, I guess is the right word, where you're like, you do more work just flows better when you have that pencil or that pen or whatever. So there's one pen, and it's a pen from the PCB manufacturer, and it's just like a freebie garbage pen, and it's this really nice, really smooth, really thick lined gel pen. Not thick lined, but really fine lined, I should say. And it was just awesome, and I used it up in like 2 weeks, which is unbelievable for me, because I've used up like 5 pens in my life. I think 2 of those were space pens. But yeah, so I was at my mother-in-law's, and she had some fountain pens. She was like, "Oh, my fountain pen doesn't work." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm an engineer. I'll take a look at it." I'm an engineer. And it was just kind of clogged up or something, and I'm like, gave it a little wrap, and things started flowing again. So I kind of told her what was going on. I didn't understand the function of a fountain pen well enough to say, you know, this is the problem, or you need to change this or change that. All those things are so finely tuned that I don't even think I would have been able to, you know, jab a screwdriver at it and fix it. But in working on that, she brought some other pens out, and I tested those out. Tested like I was trying to fix it, and then I'm like, man, this is kind of smooth. Man, this is really smooth. And then she gave me a fine one, and I'm like, this is great. It wrote really well, and I like the idea of not, you know, disposing of pens. Disposing of things. I like to keep things and keep them alive and fix them and refill them and all that good stuff. And so I really liked the idea of, I liked the notion of a fountain pen, so long as it was very functional, and I liked the feel of that particular pen. Well, I couldn't get it out of my head, wound up going online and found them, and apparently they sell for like $10, and I'm like, okay, I accept. And I was very excited to get it, and since I've gotten it, I've been drawing more stuff out. I don't know, it's like I'm not whiteboarding anymore, but I have this large art book that's like, you know, it can't be 2 feet. It's like 16 inches by 12 inches, like 18 by 16 or something like that. It's very large. And it's very thick paged, and I never got too far in it sketch-wise. But I realized that when I lacked a whiteboard, that it was an effective way of giving my brain space to work with. I don't understand what it is about white space, but my brain just really works well with that. So when I have a whiteboard, it has to be a big whiteboard. And then, you know, I'll wind up writing in just a tiny corner of it or something. And then there's arrows just pointing all over the place. It's crazy. But it is how I've, you know, it's what works well with my brain, with whatever's going on up there. Who knows? So, that's been good, and that's been interesting. It's, I don't want to talk too long about the fountain pen because there's other fun stuff I did figured out. But the fountain pen, like, you can't be rough with it. Like, I'm carrying it around, but like, I put it on my book and I tossed my book on the table, and then I opened up the cap and there was ink inside the cap, and then the ink got on the barrel, and then I touched the barrel with my hands and ink got on my hands, and it's been like 4 days or 5 days, and it's just now gone. So you can't like take it and, you know, beat it against stuff, but it keeps everything. It's been very, very, very good and very inspirational, I guess. Along that same vein, I ordered blue ink with it because color, yo. It came with a black cartridge, but I bought a bunch of blues. I'm looking at how to refill them because I'm feeling like, well, maybe will I get away with this? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's just about used up. Not bad. And there's plenty more cartridges. I think I ordered 20 or something. And made it within the red light. Nice. So it's been like, I don't know, work's been flowing. And that led to me, I do some parking permit stuff, website things, management, writing, creating. Can't be too specific. But there was this idea that came to me, and I kept expanding on it, and I think I struck gold, and I really want to present this back to my customer and see if it makes sense, because it seems too good to be. I hopped out of the shower when I had this idea and ran to the pad and wrote it down. It was that good of an idea. But that was really cool, and you know, it jibes with all the stuff I've been talking about, like the input device, whatever it is, the look, the feel, the whatever, the clicky clackies of your keyboard. It's true. Inspire work. You know, in some people, it's just whatever it is about that thing, that experience, just makes you work better. This is sparkling water with root beer flavor, which is an interesting bit of molecular gastronomy, I believe. What else? Oh, so I got this, I had this old Bluetooth, I'm going to post this project today, but I had this old Bluetooth module that was like, it was very, very official, like medical grade almost. It was very compact, you know, self-contained unit. It had has a Motorola cell phone battery in it. Very good piece of equipment. It probably has Bluetooth like 2 point something. It's kind of old, but it was very good kit, like very good equipment. And it had PS2 and USB connector, and it's a Bluetooth keyboard adapter. So you plug your keyboard into that thing, and then it connects to your Bluetooth. It also has a charging, very easy charging, and so it's very easy charging. It has good indicator LEDs, and it even has a speaker with a tone generator that plays different noises when different things are happening. And as a result, it only needs one button. So that's pretty cool. I was pretty excited about it until I plugged it into my keyboard and it didn't work. Dramatic pause while I drink. Just let it sink in. I'm building the tension for the story. But the reason it didn't work is because it takes a single unit. It takes a single device. And my keyboards are multi-device keyboards. It's a keyboard, it's a mouse, and it's a media controller, I believe. I think that's how the firmware generates it. And you can disable those settings, disable the mouse, so that it's just a keyboard. It only registers as a keyboard. But I don't want to. I use it. I use the mouse more than I use the Bluetooth ability. So I was like, I didn't really know what to do with it. Couple that with a Leopold FC660C, Foxtrot Charlie 660 Charlie, and that I like, but you know, it's horizontally staggered and everything, and it's not my custom, and I can't program it until I buy the controller for it, the replacement controller for it. But it was like, it didn't really fit a niche for me. So I had this very nice Topper board, Topre, whatever, rubber dome board that I just I wanted to use, but kind of couldn't and kind of wouldn't. So I was reminded recently about that Bluetooth device, and I was like, oh, shoot, maybe was that PS2, or did it have USB as well? So I went and found it. I'm like, oh, it does have USB, and then it didn't work, and I'm like, oh, I'm remembering all the problems with it. Yeah, it only registers one single USB device. And then I was like, well, do I have any keyboards that are single USB devices? And I was like, wait a minute. That Leopold is a single device. So there were a lot of, so I popped it open, which was no easy task. That's a really good build. Really good build. It's so good that even me, who doesn't care about aesthetics, wanted to maintain those aesthetics, the tightness of that build. So I didn't want to, you know, glue something to the back of it. I wanted it to be inside the case. So I opened the case and looked around, and everything fit just barely. I had to take components off of the Bluetooth board and move them to where there was more room. But they fit just barely, like the battery just barely fit, and there was just barely enough room for the PCB and the connector and the button in the back to sit underneath the board. So just barely. But I got everything worked, or everything installed, wired over, and fired it up, and it wouldn't work. And I took it apart and resoldered some of the connection points. This is actually the magnet wire. Oh, and the magnet wire. I forgot to tell you about the magnet wire. So I've been working on this custom project for someone, and it's been difficult because of the amount of switches and the stagger on them. Like, it's one thing to hand wire a board, it's another thing to hand wire a very large, very custom board. Plus it's like finish work. It's work for a customer, so you can't be like, you know, it works. It's all clear too, so I want it to be aesthetically pleasing. I want it to look good when it's done. But when I do that, when I've been doing that, the verticals, the columns have been killing me. So I had been thinking about this. So for this connector, I needed, or for this Topper board, to solder to those very small, very fine connectors, because I was just going to short the USB connector on the Topper board over to the USB connector on the Bluetooth board. And those connections are very small, and the only thing just about that I thought could do it was magnet wire. So I didn't have any magnet wire, but I did have a motor. So I pulled apart the motor, which was not easy, and started unwinding, you know, a mile of magnet wire from there. I didn't unwind the whole mile. I'm sure there's like a mile on there. But got the magnet wire off of there, soldered all the points, and the Topper board is now Bluetooth, which is brilliant. Super cool. I love it. I still need to fix the... Let's see. The button could be redone, and I need to figure out where I want to put the LEDs. But after that, like right now it's functional, and I need to have a good opening for a charger, which I'll figure out at some point. But yeah, it's functional, which is super cool. But when I had that magnet wire sitting there, and I was looking at that project board, that custom, I was like, well, I wonder, like, I know I've seen people use the magnet wire for columns before. So, and I've talked about this technique about using just single core wire, but I had problems with the magnet wire before, and I'm not sure why. I'm better at soldering now, so maybe that's the fix. But I did the wrap with the magnet wire, and it was awesome. It was perfect. Everything worked perfectly. I did all the columns in like 10 minutes. It was incredible. I was super excited about it. There's been so many things this weekend that I've been super excited about. Everything's going really well this weekend. That's really cool. I guess there's more, but I gotta go. Gotta get to work. Good stuff. I'm gonna be posting some of this stuff, so hopefully you'll be able to find it on my page or my YouTubes or my something. I don't know. It's there somewhere. Have a good day.